Alright, so here's another Pokemon theory for you. That this was an idea that was in the prototype, but it actually does kind of make you wonder how this really would have worked if it was in the full game. And that was that, and I mean, and it kind of makes sense already, because, you know, it's easy to understand where they're getting this idea from. But the idea was that Vulpix and possibly Trifox at the time, which Mikon's the one that's the pre-evolution of Vulpix, were actually supposed to be caught in the Pokemon Tower. And what's really crazy about this idea is it kind of makes sense because, you know, you remember the Pokemon Tower was for a bunch of dead Pokemon or a bunch of cursed Pokemon. And what was Vulpix? It wasn't a ghost type. I mean, as far as I'm aware, at least. I don't know if they changed it, but it was a fire type last time I checked. It was a fire type Pokemon that was supposed to be resembling the idea that it was, you know, capable of cursing people. It was like a cursed fox Pokemon. You know, if you played Pokemon Mystery Dungeons, you know, that's exactly how Gardevoir and Gengar, and you even got tied up in it, was because of Vulpix. Or Ninetales. Ninetales is curses. Laid a curse that could last 1,000 years or something like that. Or it's a Pokemon that could live for 1,000 years. I forget exactly how the Dexter entry stated it. But yeah, it'd be interesting, you know, you imagine you climbing the Pokemon Tower, and aside from all the ghosts and all that you'd have to deal with, you know, in the supernatural, you also have like these little cool fox Pokemon walking around, you know, because it's very interesting how that works. So it's also really interesting to think that, you know, maybe Vulpix as a Pokemon was, you know, just like it says in the Dexter entry. It's a very sought after Pokemon. It's a very adorable, but the fact that it's got a very mischief nature, you know, means that it's really hard to care for and raise. So you know, you got Vulpix, you had Mikon, you had Ninetales. Heck, you know, even if the Elite Four League dungeon still existed, the one where they cut it out entirely because they probably already had Victory Road, so they probably figured, well, we know why we have a second Victory Road. Basically, you would have to deal with, you know, Vulpix and Ninetales could be caught in the Pokemon Tower portion of the Elite Four dungeon, which is really interesting, actually. So that'd be interesting to see how that would have worked out. If Mikon was in Gen 1, would it still only have one tail, though? Or would it have three? Kind of like Vulpix. Sort of. You know, basically, Trifox is... Because Vulpix has 6 tails, I believe. And then Ninetales has 9, obviously. So, you know, what a bundle of joy that would be. You know, Vulpix is adorable. And at the same time, though, so is kind of reminds me of Growlithe. Also reminds me of another Pokemon that's a fire type Pokemon. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, that I would really love to have. And Vulpix, I mean, yeah, it's a fire type, so you'd have to be like, yeah, you know, it's gonna burn your house down, sort of. But it's like, you know, imagine if somehow you could have a Pokemon like that, and it didn't have to burn your house down. Oh, Eevee. I was thinking of Eevee. And I thought, you know, and sitting there thinking, you know, imagine how that would even work. You have this fire type Pokemon that's capable of getting you through the winter time, and yet at the same time, though, you have to worry about what it's capable of doing, you know. It's funny how that works. It really is. So again, you know, if I find anything else, I'll let you know. But it's just really interesting to think about. You know, Pokemon Tower was already kind of screwed up because you see what it was about, death and all that. But at the same time, though, it really made you think, you know, do Pokemon just really faint, or was that really the lore that they used, you know? And you know, here's another thing to think about. You know, a lot of people say like Gary's Eradicate died in that one he mentioned because, you know, he changed the Pokemon, and then he's hanging out in the Poke Tower. Well, very well, maybe at the same time, though, you know, he just put it in the PC because, you know, and then he just made a joke about it because, you know, he was just there at the time. But at the same time, though, it's like, if you really think about it, you know, that would actually make a lot of sense because, you know, he did say he did catch at least 40-something Pokemon, but he only had, like, so many of them with him because you could only have 6 at the time, right? And obviously he evolved some of them, so it's like, where does other Pokemon go? In the PC, probably. So, That makes sense.